Flash those dollars.
Yeah, this is Real Life Money Monday. My name is Mark Carvey, and we have, look in the nameplate, Trisha Pegg on here. We're going to be discussing something super sexy tonight. Yes, Trisha, tag that JT Fox, because property investing versus business. And what we're going to be talking about is like, which one is the easiest to, we want to join the discussion. It was inspired by JT Fox. I heard him talking about it with Paulie. And I just thought, hey, you know, like they're talking mostly about America, so we're going to bring it from the UK aspect. So that's where it was inspired from. But really what we're going to talk about is, and we're going to debate, maybe even argue over what is the quickest or best way to make your first million. Is it property investing or is it business? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight, people. Yeah, so keep tagging some people, share it in some places, seeing as you have your phone right there, Trisha. And anybody who's jumped on it right now, just comment so we can see who you are. Let us know what your message of this evening is on this Money Monday. And let us know any questions or what your contribution is as well to this debate. But first of all, just let us know where you are. Yeah, and put a hashtag live. If you're watching it live right now, put a hashtag live if you are watching it live. If you're watching it on the replay, put a hashtag replay, because I want to know if you're adding to the debate or argument. I want to know where it's coming from so we can continue it in the comments. Yeah, so start putting your stuff in the comments now if you're watching it live. I got a sense that this is going to get pretty tasty tonight. I am super passionate about business. You know, the majority of my time has been spent in business, in growing businesses, in training businesses, in growing teams and building teams and business processes and systems and all of that. Yeah, and I know Trisha's passion is Barbie dolls. She collects them. She's got a big collection that she hides away, that she doesn't, I don't know why she don't take any photos and post them online. I reckon, you know, she might go to then meet other people who collect dolls as well. It's not Barbie dolls. What is it?
What are you talking about Barbie dolls for?
Oh, is it property? Oh, okay. Okay, so property is your passion. Okay. Okay, good. Hey, give this post a like and a comment and a share. Let's put it out there and let's see who's going to win this debate. Is it going to be property investing or is it going to be business? Put it in the comments now. What do you think is your first port of call? Put it in the comments. What do you think is going to turn out on top here? Which is the quickest one to make your first million, business or property? Put it in the comments. Everybody who's watching it right now, unless you're watching it on hands-free. Yeah, but like, guys, I can see all you guys watching, so don't be shy. Put it in there. Which one is it going to be? Which one is it going to be? So excellent. Make sure you share this on your timeline. Make sure you tag at least 10 friends. Because I tell you something, the winner or the people who qualify, we're going to pick someone at the end. Yeah, we didn't do this for a while, so we're going to do that this time. So we've got our team who's going to adjudicate.
So are you a winner in your life? You've got to be a winner all the time. And to attract amazing wins, you get rewarded when you do the right thing. So the right thing in this one is you've got to tag at least 10 people. So if you're a tribe member, if you're part of the Real Life Tribe, if you don't know what we're talking about when we say the Real Life Tribe, make sure you tag 10 people. But if you are in the Real Life Tribe, you also have to tag 10 Real Life Tribe members and 10 non-Real Life Tribe members. And then you have to share this on your own page. So the reason that we're doing this is we're helping other people get awareness about something that maybe they've been thinking about, maybe in the back of their mind, they've never even mentioned it, but secretly they want to know more about it. You're giving them the opportunity to learn more, to put themselves into a great network, great environment of people. And not only are you helping other people and giving them just the option, right? You're not like shoving it down their throat. You are tagging them in here to give them the opportunity. If they don't want to be on it, they can bugger off. It's not a problem, right? But at least tag them in and give them the option. And then by doing this, you also get yourself into the running to be a winner and get yourself some awesome real life merch. And Mark is obviously showing one of the t-shirts right now. I can't believe I don't have mine on. I don't even have my wristband on. Where on earth has that gone in the move? I need some more. I need to stock up myself.
Traitor.
So I need to get some mugs and stuff, right, as well, so that I can sit here like, you know. So get yourself tagging away. And literally, you cannot tag enough. Just keep going. Highest energy always wins.
Right. It's going to be quick fire. So let's make this happen. Yes. Yes. Some great tagging going in. Yes. Let's get Samuel Leeds on the debate. Yeah, join. How can we bring some people on? Yeah, if you want to join the debate, by the way, hey, yeah, if you want to join the debate, put it in here and come on to this little podcast Money Monday episode and join it. So anyway, we're going to thick and fast. If you want to join it, then put it in the comments. Tag someone who you might want to come on here. Yeah, tag some people who you might want to come on here to join in this debate. What's better? You know, is it business or is it property? Yeah, I know some people are saying, oh, property business. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But hey, yeah, some LG good people. So if these people want to come on here and they want to do that, yeah, this is awesome. Let's see who's got the cojones to show up and be on here. Right. So this is it. We're going to go into it now. The debate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So welcome to Real Life Money Monday. Today we are talking about property investing versus business. And this was inspired by JT Fox. So I just want to put that out there. I heard him and Paulie talking about which is real estate or is it business and which can you make your first million in. Which one's the easiest or which one's the fastest to make $1 million they were talking about. So we're going to talk about £1 million. We're talking about the UK market right here. And we're talking about the surrounding European countries that we're operating in, that we're teaching people and people are investing and starting businesses in Sweden, in Belgium, in Germany, even Dubai. We've got people who are in the Real Life Tribe over in Dubai now. And all those surrounding areas as well, all over the UK. So this is what we've got to look forward to. We are going to have a debate, maybe even an argument about which is best, property investing or business, and all the things that are considered or they have to consider in both of them. So I want to hear anybody watching this or listening to this right now. I just want to hear from you. Like, type it, reach out to us, send us a message. If you've got the facility to put it in the comments, put it in the comments. Tell us if you're watching it live or you're watching this on our podcast series or you're watching this on Real Life TV network, on any of the channels that are out there. So, so Trisha, I guess based on your experience, really you want to tell us why property investing is the best way to make $1 million.
I think property investing is such an awesome tool because, especially for me, like when I started, I had 2 children and I was pregnant with a 3rd. So the reason I chose property, yes, one, I enjoy property and I think it's awesome, but at the same time, it's a very flexible business to have because it's like you can work around having children and other things going on in your life, because that's exactly how it was able to fit into mine. And being able to, once I learned how to do deals, numbers, etc., I was then able to translate that into, right, how do I replace my income in my job? So property investing is brilliant because I only needed like 1 or 2 deals of a certain strategy to give me a certain amount of passive income to leave my job. So I was able to leave my job very, very quickly. And then I had more time freed up to then build even further. So when you're saying like, you know, property investing, you can go as big or as medium or as outrageous as you choose to. You know, we chose to go like exponential and do as much or as little as we wanted after a certain point. So for me, it's the flexibility that it gave me. The time, it doesn't require as much time as like a job did, for example, with much higher reward. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Negotiation.
Yeah, but people would argue that Property investing, most people would say the hardest bit is raising the finance if they want to do it without their own money. Yeah, if you want to scale and do it big and you want to make $1 million, unless you already got $1 million, but even if you've got $1 million, it's not necessarily going to make $1 million. But if you want to make $1 million, you got to raise finance. Generally, most people, they've got to raise finance. If we're talking about raising $1 million, if you're not really got to raise finance and you're at that level, you're not really interested in making $1 million, probably already thinking about how do I make 10 million, how do I make 20 million, and so on. So when it comes to business, what makes it business easy? Because you can start with no capital. You can start many business. You can start a coaching business. You can start a consultancy. You could start a recruitment business, a headhunting business. You could start a marketing business. You could start selling other, like an affiliate marketing business. You can even start a business in, all of these multi-level marketing situations, whatever you want to call them, opportunities. Then you can start that business. Now, you can do that in your spare time as a little side hustle, and you can use zero money. Not zero of your own money and zero of anybody else's money. You don't need any money to start. Generally, probably you only need something like a phone, which I don't have near me right now, or a device to be able to communicate, to be able to consult people, to be able to set your schedule to deal with client meetings and all the rest of it. And you can very quickly, and I know many people, myself included, have scaled business to £1 million very quickly and didn't have any capital. In fact, my strategy now on every new business that is created under the Real Life brand is not to pump the capital in it, because I want it to be self-sustaining from the off. Why? Because that means we have to get it right from the off, rather than trying to cheat, get a head start by pumping money into it and just getting a load of employees that we can start, trained up and they kind of do all the work. That don't cut it for me. So when it comes to business, I think that's the quickest way to make $1 million. In cash money. Yeah. So what is this saying? Alpha is saying property investing is a good foundation, but you can make more money in business, but it comes with its risk. Which one? Property investing has risk, or business has its risk?
I think he's saying business. I would be interested to know why you think that. I think with property investing, obviously you get to a certain level and you have to run it as a business, otherwise it's a job, right? So I'd be interested to understand what level this person has of property deals or in their portfolio, and what kind of income they're generating, to be able to say tangibly, this is actually not as successful as maybe running a business. But you can definitely get into this as you're running things concurrently, because when you start to develop and build a business, especially when it's in property investing and developing, and you get to a certain level, it opens up so many business avenue doors that's what changes. It's a game changer. That's what I'm saying. You can either be somebody that's like a hobbyist and does 1 or 2 deals every now and again just for fun. Generally, they do the work themselves. They're like evenings and weekends. They're there like tiling and learning new skills, and that's all fun. What business, what money you make out of that, because you're trading time for money kind of situation, saving money to the builders, but it's costing your time. Or if you're looking at it as an actual business, so the way that I do it, the way that we did it, to get to the point that we got to, and then to the next level, again, when you're looking at developments and commercial kind of property investing, that's when things shift. That's when things change, and you're leveraging different teams, which is where, having a business ownership across the portfolio is very essential, because, we got to a point where we had 14 to 15 sites running all at the same time. And the way I used to work was that I was always the one dealing with the completion of the project, getting them all staged, photographed, all of that kind of stuff. But when you get to a certain stage of building and a certain amount of deals, and it's constantly doing that, you're keeping yourself at that level all the time, there's absolutely no way you can do it yourself. And also you get to the point where you don't want to, right? Because you're doing all of this to create time. Like, I can only speak from my experience. I did it to create more time, to create more experiences in my life, more freedom. So I got to the point where I was like, hey, yeah, you know, this is not now taking over a lot more time than is necessary. So then I started to relinquish the control and allow other people that still had passion and, you know, leveraging them, because my time was better spent elsewhere, building different types of business income streams and helping other businesses grow as well. For me, I think like property is big and as successful and as much of a beast as you want it to be. You just have to be willing to go out there and get it. And the biggest lesson I've learned is to allow other people to help and leverage other people's skills and teams in order to grow in 10 times the speed. You know, a lot of people witnessed what you and I did, Mark, and said, hey, wow, you know, we literally went from, you know, no property whatsoever to over 4.5 million in a very short space of time. You know, we raised over £650,000 of investor finance in under 10 days so that we could, you know, complete on all these deals that we found as soon as I'd left my job. And you know, we did it so fast. But even now, the skills and the experience that I now have, I know I could do that faster if I'd have leveraged other people and been less job.
Yeah. And we taught other people to do it faster, you know, than when we started out. But here's the point, you know, okay, creating a portfolio worth asset value over 4.5 million, 6.5 million. We know some people who part of the Real Life Tribe have gone 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 million pound portfolio. But like, we're talking about how do you make the money? Yeah, because that asset value is great, but how do you put £1 million in your pocket? Because in property, you're going to do it through rental income, which if it's going to be in your pocket, really, it's like what we're talking about, revenue. We're talking about turnover here. We're talking about profits. Yeah, because to make £1 million, some people can make £1 million very quickly, but if it costs you £1 million to make that $1 million, and I'm talking about people spend a lot on advertising, especially like these people who are junkies when it comes to putting Facebook advertising out there, YouTube advertising, they know this like dollar for dollar situation. Yeah, you can easily spend $1 million, make $1 million, you know, and that fuels the rest of your advertising. And it's just a cycle. You don't make any money. People selling on Amazon. Yeah, and like the margins that they're, you know, using to facilitate and get this actually out there. Again, you know, I know people who are doing 5 million in revenue. Yeah, but there's no problem. They made like 15 grand. You know, I think I could make 15 grand if I was a receptionist at a dentist, probably. Yeah. So the question is, what is $1 million? How are we talking about making $1 million here? Yeah, and while you were talking, my mind is torn a little bit because in my mind, I compartmentalize everything into business. Like I put everything into a business. I was just having a conversation today and it's like, oh, what? Yeah, someone is moving on, yeah, in one of the businesses. And it was like, okay, so what are we going to do? Oh my God, this person. No, what do you mean we're going to do? We don't build a business relying on one person. That's why it's a business. Yeah, because it's not like a consultancy that just relies on one person, you know. So even when it comes to property investing, like my mind is torn and saying, right, yeah, okay, so I make the property development, the property investing, like acquiring portfolio, like, you know, we do it through companies, but like I almost call it like the personal, you know, asset gain. Yeah. Rather than it's like in an organization, like in a construction company, in a business management company, and we're using purchasing property as assets to use depreciation and get tax incentives and be tax efficient and things like that. Yeah, because that's another thing. When you know business, and you could argue it this way, you could say, well, the thing is in property, and I know people in property who literally can go out there and like royally mess it up. And we've done this before, you know, in a few deals, royally mess it up and still get by and still make some money. I mean, there's some people who goes too stupid and, you know, it costs them money. Yeah. But that's more about the mind freak and the mindset of, you know, they went so far and then they pulled out And then it's like, like most people in the crypto market, I was like, oh yeah, let's jump on this bandwagon. And it starts going down. They poop themselves and start selling for no reason. I don't even know why. Fear is probably what it is. Yeah. So how do you actually make the money? Because it's either got to be rental or you got to sell it. And then when you do
it, because I get it, and I agree, because I like both avenues too. But when you're starting a business, what are you leveraging then? Because in my opinion, it's like you're in the same boat. It's like you've got a tangible asset with property, but then in business, say it's an idea or something that you're structuring, you're leveraging, you're trading your time, right, until it gets to a certain valuation. It's like, oh my goodness, The Undercover Billionaire. What a program I watched with the one where Grant Cardone did it. And they had, I think it was like a month, or I can't remember now. Anyway,
90 days.
90 days to create a business that was worth £1 million, right?
Dollars.
$1 million. Yeah, because it's Americans, isn't it? So they had 90 days to create a business worth $1 million. And they had so many different variations and different ideas. And you had to look at like how they did that business. I think Grant's, by the end of it, was valued at like 5 million something.
Oh, nobody needs to watch it anymore then.
Oh, damn it. Anyway, it is brilliant. Watching the journey is fantastic as it is. But what I mean is, when you look at what effort and time and skills and assets earned, experience, because then for me, I'm like, hey, that's awesome and everything, but you have to have gone through and done a level of training, a level of experience in your businesses and stuff like that, because we always tell everyone all the time, experience is the only teacher. So the only reason these 4 individuals were able to go out there and actually start from scratch and build up these businesses that were given different kinds of valuations was due to
$100. They started with $100. It's not totally much.
Yeah,
but how many people are going to watch that and still not do that? Yeah.
Well, loads, because again, they're close.
Just watching a video. It's like watching a video. There's only so many videos that you can watch until one day you got to get yourself on the pitch. You got to get yourself in the playing field. Yeah, and that is what I would say is the number one thing that you got to do. You got to get yourself in the playing field. But how do you do it? Yeah, you're saying, how do you leverage business in the beginning? I love watching that Undercover Billionaire, which I haven't finished watching it. But I just watched, the first couple of episodes. And really you're saying, what can you leverage? You can, it depends what you're doing. It depends what your business is about. I mean, if you're in recruitment, well, let me answer the question to what do you leverage? Yeah, so what do you leverage is other people, like always. Other people's time, money, and experience. That's what business is. Doing it as a business is time, money, and experience. When people do property investing and it's not done as a business, then they've created themselves a job. They have less time. They've got more hassle. They've got more problems. They don't know who to turn to. They have to deal with everything themselves. They're trying to do it by themselves. They don't trust anybody else. They get hurt by a few scenarios and situations and then tar everything with that brush. When it comes to business, like recruitment, let me give you an example on recruitment. Yeah. So let's say we start headhunting some people and placing people in positions. Okay, one time I can get like a fee. Yeah, and that's traded it for my time. Or I can build my database of people to put them into temporary work. I think Adi was talking about this on lorry drivers, a few Money Mondays ago. Yeah, and then we're getting paid like each time a job is there doing a job for a certain period of time, they're getting paid. So that's what I'm leveraging. I'm leveraging those people's experience, and I was the one that put them there. So I'm paying them £10 an hour. I'm getting paid £15 an hour. I don't know if that's the rates. That's probably what I'd look to negotiate. Yeah, and I've got people on tap to turn up the people, the amount of people, or they turn them down as well, depending on what they need within their business. Yeah, same for marketing. Once you have a business and you start to set a repeatable, because that's what I think the true essence of business is like a repeatable system that can be leveraged and grown. I'm always talking about like creating systems to grow and run all of the businesses. Yeah, so when it comes to marketing, we could say like we've got to create a system on how to generate leads, how to create attraction for another company. Yeah, so those companies could pay per lead. Yeah, or there could be like a percentage. It's like, hey, listen, if I'm going to produce you leads and give you leads, every time that you close a sale, I get commission. You know, so if I'm setting up a system to keep sending people through to this company, then again, that's what I'm leveraging. So this is what it comes down to. I mean, some people are commenting in here, it's been mentioned a few times already, both have their risks. You know, in business, you know, the wrong niche, wrong areas, you know, no demand. I suppose that's what it is in business. Biggest problem is...
Okay, so put it this way then, because again, I'm not saying either is better, because I love both and do both. But for me, I'm
no, you can't be on the fence.
No, but what I'm saying is, if we're leveraging, right, what I think is, so you've got a business and you've got an idea and a plan and staff potentially, because like you're saying, you want to leverage, you want to get to a point where, you know, you're not in the business all the time, because then it's not a proper business if you've got to constantly be in it. But at the same time, you could grow, bro. All right, bro. You could grow an exceptional property development company and business that once you have developed, either refinanced, sold, and then are generating your passive income, that then you've leveraged another team to run it, keep it rented, keep it fully let, blah, blah, blah. That is truly passive, because once you've renovated it, refinanced it, let it out, and have somebody else taking care of maintenance management, like, what is it that's truly passive in my eyes, you know? And then, yes, you can get to a point where you can be like, hey, you know, I'm good with this now, and I'm just got.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hey Siri.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah, what's the definition of passive? What's the definition of passive? Are you going to read it out?
I can't see it. Oh, well, you put it on the screen. I couldn't see it. It wasn't in the screen. I
was talking to Siri, not you.
Oh, okay.
Accepting or allowing what happens or what others do without active response or resistance. I don't think we're talking about that. Passive. Denoting a voice. Yeah, that's not it either. Yeah, metal made. Yeah, passive form or a verb. Containing no source of electromotive force. You see, so what is passive? Passive seems to be like letting something go. Yeah, so again, we have to define what the words are, because people say passive income and they're like, oh, property is not passive income, it takes loads of work and all the rest of it. Yeah, so
and then that's the people that aren't thinking about the end goal, like what's the outcome. Say, for example, they had 10 deals. Then absolutely, you put in the work in to manage the build, to get to the completion of either selling it or then renting it out, right? It's very simple. When you've then got to that point of either it's sold and you've made 100 grand, 200 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, whatever it is per house, or you've got then 10 assets that you're going to refinance, pay your investors back, and then have your monthly income of, say, there's one deal that one of our clients has just done that I found out about today, over £2,000 net income per month for one deal, right? Net every single month. And that is now fully let for 3 years, giving them that net income every single month for 3 years. And that is going to be managed by somebody else. That is going to be maintained by somebody else. Total passive deal. So you imagine 10 of those.
Yeah. So here's the point. Because that sounds nice, but let's say in business, you agree to say, hey, guys, in my team, this is what the goals are of the company. This is how we're going to go and transact business. And this is what we're going to do. So you could sit back and say, hey, that's going to be passive, because that's what they're supposed to do. And we're agreeing that. But that doesn't always work out that way. Yeah. Just like if you're not managing things properly, and some person who says, yeah, here, like, let's just sit back and relax and just hope to God that over that 3 years, I get my property back with the asset value that I handed it over, or hopefully a bit more, and I got all that cash flow in between. Yeah, the cash flow you got paid if it's not ran properly, might need to be pumped back in to get the property back to where it was.
Absolutely. And then equally, that's being a good business person. So this is where it ties in, and they are very,
No, we can't say ties in. Which one's better? Is it property investing or business? You got to decide. People,
business.
Wherever it is that you're watching this, put this down. Trish has been converted, so it looks like I won. She started out property investing, now she's saying business.
But if you think about it as a business head on that deal, for example, it is your job as a businessman to think with the end in mind and say to yourself, look, at the end of the 3 years, I want to make sure that my asset comes back to me in the condition in which it was given, and make sure that you've got an agreement and contract to state that. That's what a businessman would do.
But it comes back to this, because real life's mission is to design, create, and deliver the most life transformational experiences, coaching, and training to assist people with 5 freedoms: financial, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Yeah, that's the mission that contributes to the bigger mission, which is create this harmonious civilization. And how do we do that? Building businesses, making people sure that they want to work for businesses because they can use the goals of the business to get their personal goals, create education for children through the foundation, and train people who just want to be trained, in property, in business, in life, in personal development, and transformational development. So that's kind of, crammed in, short version. But here's the stickler. Yeah. Most people, they say, yeah, I want financial freedom. And most people's definition of financial freedom is where their passive income exceeds their living expenses. Now that, for me, comes down to, okay, so I have to be at an agreed living expense. That don't sound too financially free to me. Yeah. And I have to make sure that that passive income is maintained above that agreed living expense. That's how most people define financial freedom. So the word passive, and if it is passive or not, I don't really care what it's called. For me, it's about like, what's the return? What's the return on investment of my time, my money, my experience? And what's the return if I can use other people's time, other people's money, other people's experience? And if we look at it that way, it's different for everybody, but my view of financial freedom doesn't necessarily mean my living expenses have to be outweighed by some passive income. Because really it's recurring, like what recurring income have you got coming in? That could be from all different types: investment income, it could be working income, it could be the so-called passive income. My definition of the financial freedom and the mental freedom as well, and every other freedom, is that, okay, in that finance world, that I am free because I am able to deal with whatever problem comes up in that area. I am able to, that's freedom. If I have and Robert Kiyosaki defines it as, hey, your financial IQ is what size money problem can you solve? If you can only solve, a £1,000 money problem or a £400 money problem, that's your financial IQ. If you can solve £1 million money problem, if you can solve £100 million money problem, which those type of figures start to get people poo-pooing their pants or not sure whether they're up to scratch, whether they can do it or not. But ultimately it comes down to what's the size of the money problem you can solve. How much money's on the line and are you able to solve it? For me, that's financial freedom. Financial freedom is no matter what loss or what, because it's not just the loss. Most people, they don't want to go into the loss, and they'll only do small losses because they haven't got the cojones or the courage to make the move to incur that loss in the first place. But it's also, how can I be free? Like, if most people just had £1 million in the bank tomorrow, 5 million, 10 million pounds in the bank tomorrow, would they be free, or would they close up? Would they be financially free just because they got money? I don't think so. I think most people would totally freeze. I think people would freeze if they had that much cash available to them, right there. So my definition is the financial freedom. And what I want to help people is, no matter what the problem, no matter what the money problem that's going to come up, whether it's in property investing or your business, is that you can solve it, that you got the resources to solve it, that you got the know-how to solve it, that you got the confidence to solve it, that you got the confidence to know that it's going to work out. You know, recently I lost £46,000 lost. You could say down the drain, and in cash wise it is, but my ability to solve money problems in life and in business, I'm free. Like, I'm not bogged down. I'm not sitting at home crying about 46K that I lost. And people say, oh, you know, it's all right for you. And it's like, well, actually, no, because before, when I had not really any money and I wasn't making a lot of money either, I was 150K in debt. Yeah. And I couldn't solve that problem. Yeah. I was not financially free. I was burdened by the financial situation. So my thing here, and most people's thing, is probably going to come down to how soon can you get financially free, and what is your financial queue? What money problem can you solve? Yeah, that will determine how quickly you're going to make £1 million. Whether it's through business, which I think off the block is a great shout, but property investing, long-term wealth, hands down, is a winner. Long-term wealth, because think of it though, the property, the long term, like most people, they want to come into it, they want to get financially free or whatever. Like I said, financially free for me is like, how do you solve problems? You know, most people can't get financially free because they can't even solve that problem of that they're working a job doing something they don't like, or they can't find alignment. You know, guys, when you're driving or walking around the streets, yeah, just look at people, their look on their face and their body language. You can tell who doesn't have goals. You can tell who does have goals. You can tell who doesn't have goals. And you can tell how people are doing on the goals by their body language, by their facial expression. You know, most people, you smile at them today and they're like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? You know, why is this person smiling at me? Does he want something from me? Is he going to steal something from me? You know, and it comes down to then the mental freedom and the emotional freedom. So many people have the scarring on the mental memory of experience and the emotional guarding themselves because they don't want to be hurt because it's a past relationship, or their parents or their teacher or someone that they opened up to, you know, made them look stupid, got them hurt. So then they're not free in those areas now, because now they're locked up. They're like, no, I will not let you in. You must earn my trust. Yeah, which I'm not saying just jump into bed, you know, with people straight away. I'm just saying that you got to define that for you. But when it comes to business, yeah, you can make £1 million in business, and I think you can do it very quickly. I know many people, including myself, have done it in a number of months, 3 or 4 months. I know getting businesses from not just 1 million, but to 5 million within 12 months has been achieved. And property, long-term wealth, absolutely. And the good thing about property is you can leverage other people's time, you can leverage other people's money and experience as well. And even if you get it wrong, you can still turn out okay. Not recommended, because you need to be trained. Yeah, you need to be around people that you can leverage ideas off. That, most of all, by the way, you can bounce off their energy, because it's not knowing what to do when everything is going right. It's knowing what to do when it's going wrong. Do you have a closing statement for your argument, Trisha?
Just do something. I think my biggest frustration is people, you know, like I had messages from people today that I've never spoke to before and have been watching me for over 4 years and reaching out for the first time. So awesome job for doing that, because it's really nice to hear from you. But what have you been doing for 4 years that makes you now all of a sudden click in? Like, I'm glad you've done it, but do something. Stop being that person that sits there and goes, one day. Like, when is that day? There's always going to be one day. There's always going to be some day. You need to make a decision and make a choice. Are you going to make a move and do something to change your life? Or are you going to be that negative, whiny, complaining, blaming, justifying, denying person that sits in the corner slagging off everybody else and everything that they're doing and being jealous? Because I guarantee that I've been that person, and I've seen that person, and I still see and hear those people. The difference is who's got a smile on their face. most of the time. And like Mark said, there are challenges. Things come up all the time in the business, in property, that you will have to overcome. But if you are somebody that is surrounded by an incredibly beast, game changer of a network, like the Real Life Tribe, and yeah, oh, Trisha, you can say that. Yeah, I actually can, because I experience this every day. Like, they help me to keep moving forward when it totally feels impossible sometimes. You know, my mindset goes through the wash and back again, because I'm real as well, and stuff comes up in my real life that is really hard to overcome. And I guarantee you, I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing right now, and where I guarantee I wouldn't be where I am right now without the Real Life Tribe. Yeah, I helped build this, but now it helps me move. It keeps me moving forward. So yeah, there are other people and whatever, and I can't speak for them. But when you surround yourself with an absolute game changer of a network that does whatever it takes to help you achieve the best version of you and what you want, oh my goodness, your life will change 1,000 times over, and again and again and again. And people's dreams and goals and intentions at this point, again, when you get into a network that is truly all about winning and being there to pick you up and hug you when you need it the most, before you even ask for it, that is when your life is completely in a different universe to anything you've ever experienced. The one thing, because I said, wow, when we did the last live event, which was just not long ago, Property Wealth Turbo, the feeling of being in that room surrounded by people going through these transformation after transformation after transformation, I cannot describe it, because it's that transcendent is the word I kept saying, because it takes you to a different space in time. Like, it was so magnificent, and nothing like what you would feel in a real environment. You know, the real life where you're surrounded by those people that are like, what are you doing? It's inconvenient, you're gonna fail, which just happens all the time, right? But when you're in this environment and you've got these people around you full time, which when you're part of the Real Life Tribe, that's exactly what happens. You are surrounded by people, you've got people around you 24/7, guiding you, supporting you, doing whatever it takes to help you get to your result, which is whatever it is for you, because everybody's different. No matter what country you're in, no matter what language you speak, it's all about winning and getting the best version of you. When you get that, anything is possible.
Awesome. So that was more like a closing episode than a closing statement. But I didn't expect anything any different. Look, just thinking about, you know, what George has put on here as well, it reminded me of something about leveraging money. Although property investing, some people might say the hardest part is raising the finance, it is also the best, like, security backed asset to borrow money against. You see, if you're going to go with your business idea, you don't need any capital anyway. You just go with your idea, you start executing, and you do it. Yeah. Now, people probably need some training in that. They need some coaching in that, because when you start hitting challenges, then that's when people go kind of back off. But when it comes to property, you can get into property and start raising money based on the bank will lend against the asset according to their criteria. And investors, if they're savvy enough, or if you offer them an option, will also invest against the property. So it's also, their money is backed by that property. Yeah. So you could have the credibility, but you may just be starting out. You know, I taught people to raise millions of private investor finance, and probably even more millions from, you know, banks, bridge loans, and other creative ways of finance as well. In fact, the last time we calculated, it was over 25 million that had been officially raised through using the methods that we've tried and tested and, you know, work, and everybody wins. Yeah, so being able to acquire these assets, we have this way that we set goals like assets and income, because you want to have assets paying you an income, or you've got income from somewhere that you're going to use to invest in assets, and then assets produce more income. So it's not just about holding on to assets either, you know, let me just have a portfolio and just have that pay me, but it is also, well, hey, these assets can produce me an income through a sale. And then that income will allow me to invest in more assets. I want to create that flow of income, and I want the money to be flowing either way. So that is, you know, how you can get into property. You can get into property using other people's time and other people's money and other people's experience and their energy and their expertise, you know, and that's exactly what, you know, we taught many people to do, and will continue to do, and continue to work towards this, assisting people to live those 5 freedoms. Yeah. So in my head, I think if you want to fire out the blocks and you want to make some quick cash, then definitely business. If you've got the staying power, if you've got the ability, if you've got the know-how and the skills and the entrepreneurial kind of tenacity to go and do it, business is good. If you want something secure that can generate cash, can replace your income pretty sharpish, can build long-term wealth that you can then later on, maybe you want to acquire the skills to do it in business later, to run it as a business, to free literally all of your time up and have people taking care of certain aspects, or even maybe all of it, then property investing is a way to do that. Even if, you know, you can just pull the trigger on it. Like, as long as you've got a bit of courage to be able to put a trigger, you can work out a property deal based off some basic numbers without getting emotional. And you just pull that trigger, and it's the only investment I know. And if you know a different one, you message me about it, let me know. But it's the only investment I know where you can know all of how you're going to get in, what it's going to cost you, and how you're going to get out, what's it going to produce at the end of it, before you even take the first move, which would be to exchange any money or anybody else's money, or get any of that. And that's a great thing, because you can know all of that before you get in. Then you can go and present that opportunity to the bank. You can go and present that opportunity to an investor, to a joint venture, to someone who is going to be like, right, I can see that there's an asset here. So even in a worst case scenario, it can be handed over to them. Yeah, and now they've got an asset, so at least they can recover their money. And that's what the whole, you know, mortgage industry is built upon, you know, being able to have this asset. So if people don't make the payments, they've got this asset to claw back. People even go and get additional personal loans that are a secured loan, which is, again, they'll give you the loan based on putting some kind of charge on your and securing it against your property. So it just goes to show that things can be built. So let me tell you this, guys. Here's my ending statement. There is not a lack of money. There is not a lack of wealth. There is not a lack of opportunity. There is not a lack of chances for you to win in life. I don't care where you are or who you are. There is just a lack of creativity. That's what it comes down to. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of haters out there. You know, there are a lot of people. By the way, when you are on the rise, expect people to want to come and hack you down like a corn on the cob growing in the field during the harvest. Because once you start to grow and you put your head pops up against the rest, there will be someone saying, hey, it's time to harvest. Let's chop these back down to size. So you've got to be able to work through that as well. That's the mindset aspect of business. Look at these celebrities. Look at these sports stars. They get training. They get kind of counseling on how to handle and some of them don't handle it so great, as you know. Yeah, they get trained on how to handle it. So you've also got to get trained on how to handle when people start coming after you, because you can't just shut down emotionally. That's not good. But you've got to know that you're doing the right thing for the right reason, because when you do that, then you can have full confidence to just say, nice one, have a good day, jog on, whatever you want to say. Yeah. And I got reminded of that recently. You know, some people wanted to hack me down, and do you know what I love, by the way? TikTok. The TikTok comments are hilarious. Yeah, in fact, we should do an episode, maybe even like something different on the on the Real Life TV network, where we talk about, we read all of these different comments that people put. They're on TikTok. I think people think they're invisible and nobody can see them. Maybe, I don't know. But because they're just super hilarious. I don't know who reads the comments on TikTok anyway. Yeah, I don't know. But thank you so much for everybody being here, listening to this. Make sure you do subscribe to all of our channels and all of our podcasts. So wherever it is that you're watching this, give it a like, give it a share, give it a comment. Yeah, give it a love. Do pass it on and recommend it to other people if you got value here, because we want to bring to you every single week a debate of your choice. So please type it in the comments. What do you want to debate? What is it that you want to know? Yeah. What would you like to see us argue over? Who would you like to see on here as well? Who do you think would give us a good run for our money in a debate? We've got some special guests coming up on the future episodes, so do stay tuned. Go and like the Mark Harvey page and the YouTube channel, also the Real Life Group page. Go like Trisha's page, and just keep spreading the love, people. So Trisha, I just got a question so we can wrap this up. We can never, ever let people forget.
Do you have a winner first?
Oh, winner, yeah. Yeah, I want to say this first and then we do that. Yeah, so we can't let people forget this. And that is that they must do the right thing for the right reason. Now, why is that?
Because that is the only way that you're going to discover your true potential. Boom!
Yeah, you heard it here first. So, okay, so let me see what we got here. So, guys, whoever's the first one to put the number in the comments, 1, 2, 3, or 4. This is how we're going to select. So there's been, a few people who have qualified. There's a few people that have qualified.
So you got a comment. Number 1.
Number 1 is the first
one that's been commented, which was oh no, hang on, it's different on here to live on the phone, but I can see it on here, so I'm going to say it on here was number 1. So who is number 1?
Number 1, we're going to have to go with number 1 because that's what we're seeing on here. So that person is Charlotte Jones. I think a previous winner also. So it looks like she's on here. So just comment to let us know you're on here. And great job for everybody who contributed to the sharing and the liking and the commenting and the tagging of people. Make sure that you're here next week to do the same, to be in for a chance for winning. So is she on here? Did she comment, or we have to redo it?
Charlotte, comment. Yes, she's here.
Yes, she's on here. Okay.
Congratulations.
Okay, awesome job, Charlotte Jones. Excellent. So now, oh my goodness, we have something super special for the Real Life Tribe. Go into your emails or into the group and get yourself on this week's hot seat coaching. We're going to deep dive someone, give them the coaching, the mentoring, get them unstuck and get them moving forward in their life where they need to be in their property business, getting the results. So we will see you all there shortly. Until then, my good friends, thank you for watching. Thank you, Trisha, for being on here, and do the right thing for the right reason, because that's the only way you're going to discover your true potential. Thank you. Good night.